I want us to a little too man because we were not there. I want us to describe Ntwe Khornole Ntwe Jwang. When we hopola le Ntwe Jwang Rambo, what did it look like? What was it? Was it nole le saka la plastiki, nole di shrubs, maybe di tlhare? What was it?
Le sapo le kopane le stlhare.
Le sapo la eng?
Ke tsebe ngabila mpulela hore no o ska botsa o fiwa. Sa fela o ska botsa o fiwa. Sa fela ka o sebeletsa ntwe.
It's Throwback Thursday on Sports That Amplified with Andile Ncube. And on the Mighty Metro, on Throwback Thursdays, we look back to special moments of years gone by and tell stories using the extraordinary moments that we find. Tonight, the moment happened 23 years ago. I say 26, it's 23 years ago when it happened. It was the 11th of November, 2001. Trust me, this is a point. If your father, uncle enjoys football and they're a little bit, older, this is a point they're going to enjoy discussing with you. This was the 11th of November, 2001, 23 years ago. Moroka Swallows is playing Ria Stars at the Rand Stadium. Now, some crazy things have happened in the PSL over the years, but this was definitely one that takes the cup. A ball boy, and they were called ball boys then, having stolen headlines all over the world, as we know. Eden Hazard and the Swansea ball boy, we've seen that, and so many more. But this one in particular, his name is Khotso Teketsi. Khotso Teketsi's wild story as a Moroka Swallows ball boy in a relegation decider. It's a relegation decider between the two teams, Swallows and Ria Stars at the Rand Stadium. The craziest thing happened. But what happened? I found the story through reading the writings of SABC sports anchor Sizwe Mbebe, known as Mjaga.
Dali, by introducing and saying your uncle, 2001. I'm that uncle.
You're that uncle. How are you?
Hey, I'm 42 now. I was 19 that time.
You were 19, and you remember this from having lived it when you were 19, or is this something that you read up later?
I watched the game. I was in Germany actually at that time. I was in Germany, and I was working with a German partner for Swallows at the time. And yeah, we were sent the video after the game. We didn't see it live. So we saw the events and, the post-match and all that, like about a week later.
I mean, it did make international news as well, yeah. I do remember. But for those that don't know the story, I remember it vividly from then. But when I read it from your writings, I thought, oh, I remember this. For those that don't know it at all, or those that had forgotten about it, please put us up to par here. What is the story of the Swallows versus Ria and the ball boy?
And this is the time the PSL was still made, well, not the PSL, but the Premiership was still made of 18 teams, guys. So a lot has definitely changed. A lot has definitely changed. At the time, Moroka Swallows were going through Moroka Swallows things, struggling. There's no investor. It was after Chabedi and a rugby guy. The German guys were just taking over. That's why I came in. Dieter Bock had just bought the team from Louis Late. From Louis Late. So Leon Prince and the group were still coming into the fold. And at the time, Ria Stars were one of the exciting teams that had all the players that had played for big teams, And Moroka Swallows were a team with no money. They were using, exactly like this season, actually, they were using reserve team players.
So much has changed, yet nothing has changed.
Yay, so much has changed, but nothing has changed. So, there were a couple of players, of course, from second division, just signed, with no proven experience. So they were really fighting for survival at the time and doing everything to do. And they had hired a very energetic and eccentric coach that used to entertain us in local football called Walter Rautmann from Austria. And he used to speak very interesting English, So the post-match conference, I want small Soweto boys. So at that time, Swallows, everybody was just trying to get Swallows to survive. They were really going through a bad patch. Walter was doing everything he could to just inspire, because there were no funds to really coach the guys. It had to come from guys, you're fighting for the badge, you're fighting for Soweto. You can't leave Chiefs and Pirates alone in this league. They needed 3 points. They were 1 point would have sent Swallows to a relegation place. And there were no playoffs. There were no playoffs.
It was 2 out, 2 in.
It was 2 out, 2 down, 2 up. So if they didn't win that game, to secure, to keep themselves safe, because there was one more game after that. They had to win that. I think the next game was against like a big team, either Chiefs or Pirates, but a team that they were not going to beat, So this was their chance to really do it. And it was a home game at Rand Stadium. And Rand Stadium, guys, Rand Stadium used to have chairs that you could fall off, They didn't have the back, it was not what Rand Stadium is today. It was back in that time. It used to also be overcrowded, right? They used to allow walk-in. You didn't have to buy a ticket, a computer ticket. You could talk to the security, So those were the times. And everything was done. Everybody pulled up for Swallows. It was packed, it was loud. I could just imagine what was going on inside. I'd been as a kid, of course, to Rand Stadium to watch Swallows before. And I could just imagine the vibe at that time. And you could just see, man. And these ball boys, 6 of them, one of them is Khoto, was instructed by the kit manager, with Prajunia. Prajunia, a lot of Swallows fans know him. A very, very interesting
This is Philip Molefe, yeah? He's known as Prajunia, yeah.
Prajunia, yeah. Prajunia instructed Khoto to get a bag, right, out of the goal of Ria Stars. I think the goalkeeper was Rambo.
A bag similar to those. For those that watch football a little bit later, Brian Baloyi used to carry one of those, and he would always leave
exactly.
it. Okay, so one of the ball boys, Khoto, was instructed to go get that bag.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Because Prajunia said to him, just take it. So Khoto didn't even know why Prajunia said you must take that, right? So, and take it and throw it, right? Throw it to the fans. So he took the bag and threw it to the fans, and the goalkeeper lost his mind. The late Tabang Libisi chased him as well. That's when the referee actually stopped the game, because Tabang now was chasing the ball boy with the goalkeeper. And he ran for the tunnel, But also the linesman also got him before he got to the tunnel and brought him to the referee.
It's one of the most interesting photos ever taken in the JCB Premiership. The referee, Ian McLeod at the time, the principal, he's the one that sent Khoto off. You're not going to believe this. I know the story is 23 years ago. Khoto was with me in the studio. I'm sitting with him. I am sitting with him in the studio.
Wow.
And I want to hear the story from him. But also, we're going to be calling Abram Rambo Kwenyama, who was the goalkeeper that he took that thing from.
Rambo,
We'll speak to him, and we'll also give a call to Philip Junior Molefe, the Swallows kid manager that sent him. So, Mjaga, thank you so much for bringing the story. We need an extra hour. We need it, but we're going to hear it. Thanks for bringing the story to our attention. Please listen on. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Glenn.
It's a picture that's captured many South Africans for a very long time. It's a picture of a young man who got embroiled in one of the biggest fights in PSL history. Ria Stars versus Swallows, fighting for relegation in that season. And there was this young man who then is brave enough for his Swallows to say, I will take it on. 23 years ago, on the 11th of November 2001, that young man sits with me now. He was a ball boy then. He can't be called a boy now. Khoto Teketsi is with me. Khoto, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks on yourself, Andile.
I'm looking at that photo, man. You look so innocent, eh?
I am, actually.
How old were you then?
I was 16 years old back then.
You're 16 years old?
That's correct.
Can you believe that it's been 23 years?
And I'm shocked that it's only now that is happening, after 23 years. Yeah, but
I'm sure you get asked about that moment. Have you never been asked?
I have been, actually, from my high school days. Even in my area where I used to stay in Molapo, Soweto,
people wanted to know the story.
Very well, they wanted to know it. Yeah.
Can you believe it's been so long?
Very long, and I'm shocked. I still don't believe that it's really happening.
What do you remember about that day, the 11th of November 2001?
I remember mostly Lucas Sebona. That's the moment whereby Swallows were hitting the pole. They couldn't score. The goals were not coming through, and we are in RA, like we were shocked and scared that our favorite team was going to go down, and we will no longer have that moment whereby we know that it's taking us away from bad things. So
Swallows needed to win that game against.
It was a do-or-die game.
What was the score?
It was 0-0.
They couldn't score.
What
kept happening?
Lucas Sibona kept on hitting the crossbar. Twice it happened. I remember first half. And they were on some Big Six Rabulele, the late Chakonia TV. They were all over Ria Stars.
But they couldn't score.
They couldn't score. They couldn't score.
Why couldn't they score?
Because there was something that was preventing them from scoring. And I was only alerted that here is the obstacle. Should we remove the obstacles? Definitely sure the goals are going to come.
And they needed the 3 points.
It was very crucial. It was a do-or-die game. Swallows loses, Moroka Swallows loses, they get relegated.
Do you remember who was the keeper for Ria Stars at the time?
I remember very well.
Who was it?
Abram Rambo Konanyani.
Have you seen him since that day?
I last saw him at the Godfrey Mulwe Kuitul games. I don't remember.
Hey, he wanted to move you that day. Yo.
The footsteps, that guy is a giant. Imagine chasing me. I'm very short. I mean, the footsteps of Rambo Kwenenyani, like I was very scared.
This is after you did what you did?
After I did what I did. And he warned me twice. Hey, don't take out that thing, man.
Where were you? So where are you? Because Bo boys obviously are all around the field, right? Were you behind the goals?
I was behind the poles. We were positioned strategically because I was the leader of the ball boys. So I was placed there strategically because we were told during halftime, hey, you need to move to this place, because they knew that I was very courageous and I will definitely do what I had to do.
You do what you need to do for Swallows. You'll die for
Swallows. Definitely the two bits.
So who instructs you that there's something in the goals?
Ntate Junior Molefe, the kit manager, Swallows kit manager.
What does he say to you?
Hey mfana, ususele ntole mfana. Uyabona ngithi ngiyo evimba amakhulu. Monga isusile ntole mfana, anyeke usaphinda ubuyela.
We've got him on the line. We've got Junior on the line. We're going to try and get him back. Yes. But, and what was that thing? What was it?
Like for me, I was shocked because when I picked it up, it looked like a fly. But during the game,
it wasn't in the bag. It wasn't.
No, definitely not, because I threw it over the fence. If you remember, in stadium, it had fence that was separating.
No. We're jumping the story here a little bit. We're jumping the story here a little bit. So he tells you this at halftime.
At halftime, yes.
And he says, when you get an opportunity,
yes,
go take what's in the goals.
Yes.
Have you seen it before?
I had not. I wasn't.
So you didn't even know what he was talking about.
I was not aware what was happening. Yes.
So you go there now, and what are you looking for? Because you're still looking from far. What are you looking for there? What did you see?
There was something near the goalpost. At the bottom of the goalpost, there was something. Remember that at the goalpost, it's either the towel of the goalkeeper. It's either the towel of the goalkeeper and the water bottle. On the other side, there was an object there near the pole. So I knew definitely it can't be the goalkeeper's towel or the water bottle. It must be this thing that is on the other side of the pole.
So you say, okay, now I've seen it.
I've seen.
When do you get an opportunity to go?
The first time I got that opportunity, I attempted, then Rambo turned back because he could see that there was some conversation. It was very strange for a kit manager to be behind the goalpost, whereas he's supposed to be seated at the bench. So he had already identified that there is something definitely going on here. So time and again, he will look at behind as to say, hey, Wenasan, don't even go there, Wenasan. So when I got the chance, he was, after sweeping the ball, he was almost far away from the D-line. So I knew that I had an opportunity to do what I had to do at that point in time.
What is Bindia Bulalas Bindia Pilis?
Ayikho kubuyele emuva. Ayikho enze njani.
We're trying to get a hold of, we had him on the line just now, Philip Junior Molefe, who was the kit manager that you speak of. But we've also, do we have Rambo on the line? We had Rambo on the line as well, the goalkeeper for Ria Stars at the time. Let's see if we can get him. Rambo, hello? Oh man, what are these lines doing to? No, he is there. There he is on line 2. He is there on line 2. Put him up. Oh no, let's take a break and fix these lines, because what an interesting story. And I want to get to the point where you see this thing live. And I want you to tell everybody what happened with that thing, because it was almost magical. It's something that I hear till today you still have nightmares about.
Definitely.
Hold on. If you didn't believe that muti is a real thing, like me, today might just change your mind. It's exactly 29 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. There's an epic picture that all footballers or football lovers have always looked at, and the story that's been told about it has always been one that has intrigued me. But today we're getting it from the people that were there. The kit manager that sent the boy that did the deed, and the goalkeeper that chased the boy. That's who the 3 main people. The other person, of course, is Ian McLeod, who was the referee on the day. He's late. May God continue to rest his soul in peace. But he's the only person missing in the story. Let's start from Philip Jr. Molefe, the Moroka Solos kid manager on the day. Junior.
Yes, my brother.
Manje Junior, masomdala usabizwa ngo Junior still. Junior, this story, man, you know, I've heard about it for so many years. I'm glad we finally get to tell it. 11th of November, 2001, 23 years ago. What happened?
Hey, ndaba sasidlala game. Hey, kwakunzima. Sidlala naye le team le ikhuzobuyina.
Real Stars. Yeah.
And siku danger zone ukuthi if we lose that game, i-team relegation. Hey, manje ngiyabona i-team kuyaliwe. Yabona ukuthi i-team lesithathe lesine. As long if you are the kit manager, we have to all the time look around the team. Because the kit manager he phethe everything in team. If ungakhona ukuchecka ubone ukuthi i-team is safe noma ayikho safe, it's up to you. Mina bengenza sure ukuthi isiswalo simayodlala igame 3 o'clock but 10 o'clock on the stadium. Yes, stadium ngicheck sile ngoba ama-team ila athola khona i-chance. Nina baba navilapha ukuvuka niye nobheka i-ground ngabo 10 o'clock laba baletha khona abantu laba abasebenza ama-ground.
Hayibo.
Ngoba ibhola kusebenza umuthi. Solo umuthi ebholeni.
Hey madoda,
umuthi phela mfethu angikhala understand ama-player today bathi bona umuthi abasebenzi ukuthi ama-player ingathi ama-big player afana njengoba Jomo Stono, oChipa Mloyi, those big players boShesh Mashaba bobani o8 Ntweleng bo teenage dlala babuya kuyo lento le. Bona bakutshela ngento yesolo ukuthi kumele bathande. Angithi akuthandaza, siyathandaza kodwa into yethu esikhulu ikhona. Kumele siqhubeke ngayo. Ayithule khona lethu.
So
why kumele sibeke emuva?
So on that day, Swallows were also using their muti.
Yeah. Mina bengadlala mfowethu bengenza sure ukuthi nayi isolo simayiya nathi ngisosebenzisa umuthi.
So ubani obehambisa umuthi egroundini ku Swallows?
Yimi bengiyenzela mina.
Bokumuthi onjani?
Umuthi hayi nje umuntu lo onisebenzisana naye uyaye umfuka umtshela ukuthi nosodlala babesodlala nePirates. Uyakutshela kunikeza ukuthi mawufika egroundini wenze kanje wenza nje uqhela iground maybe ugoalkeeper umnikeza something. Unento yakade bayenza.
So for this game, for this particular game, Mandali Real Stars nenze njani?
Mandali Real Stars ngasebenza kodwa ngibona ukuthi Real Stars is more strong than it.
So umuntu abamsebenzisile waye strong ukudlula wenu.
Yeah, kade strong kakhulu ngoba sase ukona lo kwazi kwaphela 45 abaningiza abashayisa amapali ubona ibhola ukuthi nakuna something la.
So when ubona nini ukuthi yini le something?
Ngibona second half, ngibona first half emalosaya ukuthi noma. Ngithe masibuye ugoalkeeper ngathi no, awuthi ngiphume ngespeed e-dressing room. Ngiyobheka ukuthi mangingena Real Stars izawenzani. Makangena ngihleli phezulu lapha ema-grandstand. Abangibona ngithi bona bacaba ukuthi ngizongena ekhayineleni. Ngahlala lapha e-grandstand, i-team ithe mayingena iSwallows. Yangena ngabona le Real Stars ugoalkeeper gijima. Mafika lapha epalini wafika wafaka something ePaulinda.
Wabona wasewenze njani ke because wadlanda ukhotso naku ngihleli naye la umfana omncane wayeball boy waya kuyena.
Ngaya kuye ngambiza athi endoda sondela la ngakhuluma ngathi iyalapha sakhaya phansi abanaye bathi beka lapha yabona lento le ngathi ivele lapha epalini ekhoneni. Hamba mfana ugoalkeeper ibhola abaliza ngapha kulo uReal Stars. Ukhipha lento le ukubaleka uze nayo. Uthema ilokhu idlala igame ugoalkeeper uconcentrate egamini. Umfana lo wagijima afika yazi manje ngathi uzolanda ibhola lapha ngemva kwamaphuli. Wathi uyakhona umfana ngoba yazi ngaye the brave boy waya lapha umfana lo ufika ikhipha wazala. Ugoalkeeper ngambona manje ubona nawe uyagijima enuphethe lento le kade ayifaka la. Igame yapha. Umfana lo wabanga umthini. Uthi uRebonizement babona maye babona iyagijima.
Uma bemgijimisa uba ngumsindo uyakhala.
Uyakhala manje ngakini.
Akangitshela ukuthi ubekhala. Ugijimela kuwena.
Ugijimela kimi manje uletha lento le ngithi ngoba ngithe amaqeda ayethekini.
Here, man.
hayi
Okay.
nami uthi amakayiletha kimi ngayithatha ngayibeka nje somewhere lapha ngayifihla ukuthi babafika bathi maybe
Bamba kanjalo, Bro Junior. Bamba kanjalo, because I want to bring in the goalkeeper on the day, Abram Rambo Kwenyane. Abram?
Era.
O kae na rra?
Dumelang le kae?
Ke a go kwa wa tsheya mara hey.
Dumedisa Bra Junior mo le khotso.
Hola Rambo.
Tara,
Sharp Hotman.
Hey, Tara.
Rambo, 23 years ago, 11th of November 2001. You remember that day?
Ke sa go pola ngwana mme.
What happened?
Ke go pola hantle. Khotso ila tla. So the supporters of Swallows ka mora di faleni di dina. So suddenly ke a utlwa di thotse. So a ke di thotse ke shaba go mora ke bona khotso le ka mora di pale.
He banna.
Ya ke motabogisa ka ra e khona khotso tsa ntho ya ka.
Ntoki, nguna tseng mo.
O tsile ntho ya ka. So ke ya kwa le kwa ke motabogisa ke batla mo kwalla mo neteng. A ya bona ra ntho e betere go once. Ke bitse ke en metla tsini le ne refi. Ya ke tsile tsa go refi ampona ka ke. Ai ka ke bulela no motho tseile thawele ya ka. Ma ga ba tlo mo jetsa hore o tseile ntho ya ka muti. Pero tseile thawele ya ka. En metla ke anta red card, a ja po khotso ka red card.
Mara o mpotse, ne re reka ntwe on the day.
Yeah,
Was it working, Rambo, the thing? Was it working for you on that day?
no bereka muti ngwana mme. If o tshepela wone, wa go sebele. But if o ya pela ka o sina tshepo, o ka se sebele.
And on that day, when I know Kholomo, because it was working.
Ne ke kholo ngwana mme. Ya ne national team e tlisikile ke a o kumela.
And then, so when they took the muti, what happened?
So what depend or ke motho o yane. E ke una le motho wa lucky. So wa ke ne lo lucky or ke dithibe ka ofela. O ba fana ska ba nkora. Foro ne ke se uno sebeletsa nna le team.
So after Khotso atsia muti wa hao?
Ya ntho tsa ka diphopa. Go re Khotso o mpolaile. Khotso o mpolaile. O tseile ntho ya ka. Wa tsa ntho ya ka no ra di tla kena ngwana mme tlikene la fela.
And again.
Ena di kena ngwanese.
I want us to little too man, because we were not there. I want us to describe Ntwe Khornole Ntwe Jwang. When we khopula le Ntwe Jwang Rambo, what did it look like? What was it? Was it nole saka la plastiki, nole di shrubs, maybe di tlhare? What was it?
Nele le sapo le kopane le skhare.
Le sapo la eng?
Ke Steve ngabila mpulela no o ska botsa o fiwa. Sa fela o ska botsa o fiwa. Sa fela ka o sebeletsa ntwe.
Do you know what? Hey.
Le sapo la teng a ke itse o na re a di kera di pale ke kume skhare ke khwe en ke tsele sapo le kaltso. A ke le be ya ska ga sheba go morago. Isebe go fe.
So, Manjige, because he throws it to Bra Junior. Bra Junior, you catch this thing. What do you do with it?
After ke le thosi le sapolela. Le la be ke tshere something ya ka e be ke tshere ba mfileng yona. Ka phela ka tshela wa ka mriane mo dimalo. Mo le sapong. It's all start le yona e kora di codes.
Do you know what the craziest thing is? And this is for people like me, Junior, Rambo, Khotso as well, who for a long time are non-believers of these things. You know, we were always not sure if this is a real thing. For you, nole le sapo le meriane. Mara Khotso, we itse ha e tshwara ntweo. Ha e fa Bra Junior I posted mo go yena. Khotso bone something different to what you guys are describing. Khotso, what do you remember?
What I remember is whatever that I threw to Babu Junior. For me, it looked like a butter. I don't know if ever it was a butterfly or what, but it was flying. Because after I threw it over the fence, Babu Junior, so I don't know if that time was me in the moment of shock or was it Muti already at play. But it was very, very scary and traumatizing. I don't want to lie to you.
Where is Valento Prochun?
Yeah, he is a Hey, yeah, ndoda. Hey, ngiyatshela ngabona ndoda le. Umuthi uyasebenza bafowethu. Mina I've proved I've been 20 years ku PSL. Umuthi uyasebenza ba.
Namanje.
Ngoba asho mawune trust entweni izokusebenzela sho.
Oh man. So, Junior, before we let you go, for the many that are listening that want to know about that day, Masbuga back 23 years ago, what are some of the things that you want people to remember, the stories that of that day in particular, ofuna bakhumbule ngazo ukuthi hey kwakunje ngalelo suku?
Hey. Ya kwakunzima umuntu ngangakhona ukulala kuloma malanga la iswalo siku danger zone ukuthi anytime iyaphuma elikini and hey bangasenza ngoba i team besithina kithi i team is everything. It's everything, my brother. Yes, sir.
But Junior, you worked for Swallows for how many years?
Let's say 23 years, because we started 1994.
And then when did you leave Swallows?
1917.
And then uhambe
7 years after Mountain Abolo Sufi.
Oh, bungasafuni ukusebenza.
Not really, kunezinto ebangazanga abazenza esasivumelene ngazo. I decided no. I still love the team. I still work for the team anytime abafuna ukuthi sizoncedisa. Kodwa nanti yangikwatisa kayasengenza ukuthi ngiyeke lokusolo.
Asenze kanje asibambe lapho sophinde sixoxe ngelinye ilanga siqhubekise.
No problem, brother. Ngibongile man.
Thank you so much. Let me say goodbye to Rambo as well. Rambo, thank you so much for living this moment with us, man. Thank you so much. We'll never forget it.
Thank you, Bra Junior.
Bye.
That's Bra Junior there. He's gone. Rambo, from your end, I mean, gee whiz, what a day. When you look back at that day, when you look back at that moment, I want you to think about it. When I come back, I want you to tell me what memories you have of that big, big moment. Oh, man, what a hilarious story. I mean, it's funny, but it's not, isn't it? But when you tell it 23 years later, Snetemba Khatebe cracking out on Twitter. We've also got Forstaff Makumela, who's with us during this conversation. Guys, I'm laughing just as much as you are. I'm on the floor with just laughter of what happened there. Mutluri at Mtombe Nimlu saying, what an interesting conversation. Who else? I saw a couple as well here as we're telling this story who were just laughing along with us. I rebuke the statement. Who's this? Oh, this is Melogutle. Yeah, so some great conversations that we're having here. It's funny, man. Rambo is gone. We still have the man here. You get sent off on that day.
Yes.
Right. And that was the beautiful thing that you did for your team.
Definitely.
When we come back, because I wanna quickly speak to Tate Musimane Khape Mati from the Northern Cape to find out what happened to that team in Postmansburg who did the unthinkable when they beat up a coach, some players, and the referee. And then I want to find out about you. What's since happened in 23 years to the boy that saved Swallows' status?
Okay.
Oh, what team? Oh, there he is. I think you have to hang up the one line and keep the other. Hello? Oh, there we go. Thank you so much for joining us and keeping your word and coming back to us.
Thank you so much. Good evening, good evening to the team and also the listeners.
The story is from Tuesday when we took it on. Over the weekend, there was a game that was held in the Northern Cape. Two teams in the lower divisions in the ABC playing a title contender, really, because it was position 1 and position 3. A penalty was given to the one. The one who was the home team, Postmansburg, felt that the penalty shouldn't have been given. They beat up the referee, they beat up the coach, and some players as well. All of this captured on video. The one had to go to the hospital. The one was unconscious, and there's injuries to others as well. You said you guys are going to sit down, and the DC is going to tackle this. By Thursday, you'll tell us what's going to happen over the weekend, because the same team is due to play. What findings did you guys come to?
Thank you so much. Well, before that, probably we need prayers. I've been listening to the great show that you are having. We need prayers at our grounds.
100%.
The gentleman there with the muti must come and make some reference. Okay, on a feedback issue, the provincial executive committee said yesterday and discussed the matter and resolved with the advice, of course, of the legal department, to suspend the team. So the team, as we speak now, has been suspended until the sitting of the disciplinary committee, which is on the 14th. I think it's next week, Thursday, on the 14th, because as the provincial executive committee, we obviously do not want to put risk and continue with the games. So precautionally, we have actually put the team aside.
So basically, and you know me and you, I always want an understanding that so you're saying for the next 2 games that they were supposed to play over the next 2 weekends, you've suspended the team from all activities in football. In the meantime, while you're trying to find whatever it is going to be the final resolution of the findings of the DC through the legal process.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, I think that's fair enough. You're giving yourself time in order to make whatever decision that needs to be made. But in doing so, you're acting by taking these people off the field because we do not trust nor know what could happen moving forward.
Absolutely. We wouldn't want to take that particular risk.
No, I think let's rest this conversation. And once further findings have been made, it could be in 2 weeks from now, can we please revisit it? I'm very surprised, pleasantly so, because this is a positive sign to say you guys want to do something, but in the meantime, you have not let the rot just sit there. You've made decisions about it. It is a win and a positive one for Safa Northern Cape. Thank you very much.
No, we appreciate it.
We'll have a conversation again. Datemate Musimane out in the Northern Cape. We really appreciate it. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we find out from the boy who's now a man that saved the status of Moroka Swallows 23 years ago. What since happened to him? We still have Khotsa with us. He's famously known as the boy that saved Swallows' status. That's a big title. Do you feel like you're the boy that saved Swallows' status 23 years ago?
After everything that has transpired, I feel like they have never acknowledged properly. Like as you just heard Ubabu Chuniamlefe when he spoke about the story, I also feel because it just ended there. I did what I did. It was great.
Do you feel like you risked your life? Maybe. What do you feel like? Because I understand your position was retrieving the ball. They went and made you do something beyond that. And you feel there must have been some sort of gratitude for that.
They've never shown that, and I feel that they should have done that because with muti, you don't know what might happen. Maybe my hands wouldn't be working as we speak today because hilarious things were done after the game just to make sure that muti doesn't work. But
what do you mean? What things? Was anything done to you?
No, I was just told that, okay, you need to urinate on your hands, wash your hands with that urine so that muti mustn't work. And
do you think it's affected you in your life?
It hasn't done me justice. Yes, the recognition is there, but what's the recognition without having something to show that I've done this for such a great team, such a big Soweto giant? And
but tell me this.
Yes.
Because you say you still think and you still see that thing that you threw, even now.
Yeah.
Do you think it's had a negative effect on the things that haven't gone right in your life?
It has, because, immediately when you're affected psychologically, some things you will lose concentration along the way, and there are things that you lose along the way because you are not yet in your right state of mind. And somewhere it has affected me.
What's happened with you since? What are you doing with your life?
Well, I've worked for a couple of years. Just lost my job. That was last year. So I've been unemployed. I've got a wife. I've got 2 kids. I've got a bond that I need to pay. So yeah, things are not looking that great. So I was hoping that out of this something great can come out. We never got the recognition. I think it was supposed to also be on the Guinness Book of Records. Why such great stories of Africa are not being told and are not being recorded or recognized. So I'm just hoping, like, from now onwards, probably maybe things they will turn for the best.
Let's hear what people have to say. Let's play some of those voice notes, Malcolm.
Andile, ole para mfana le para lenga mapara Jimmy mago de busy khona fuma tsebe ne re go botse melaiti a ke khuzi motho fela mfana just a shaka mfana o tshadi phiri bano se tso ntsha bo di khemi ntsha bo di melaiti Andile ne ke tlala wena mfana sekhaya ne umpya melaiti tshofetso.
Hi ma lento muti iyasebenza. I remember sibukele i-Orlando Pirates lapha ekhaya eSoweto eKlipspruit u-Okbar yo ukuthi wayenzani emapalini abantu bathi bayakoka lutho. So taba ya dipali ya Moriana, it does work. Ngayibona mina i-Orlando Pirates. I don't know if it was which 90 something it was. I was still very young. And then soccer interested me, but iyasebenza. Ngayibona ngo-Okbar mina ne-Orlando Pirates.
Good evening, Andile. I like this topic. Just ask Junior, there was a game akibadlala ne Chiefs. I'm a player Chiefs bati bayanuga. Bebazigcobiseni bona. Just ask him if he remember that.
Hey, Shoma, Shapunjan. I know. Today, I know always I'm sure but today, this one we have to mark it. This one was one of the best. But today I learned today. I'm telling him yo, thank you today. Thank you today for the show.
Andile, good evening, my brother, and good evening to all Metro FM listeners worldwide. You know, I'm listening to your conversation with the guys there in the studio. You know, if you want to know that muti works in football or they uses it in football, ask those guys who won African Champions League in 1995.
Yeah, I remember that story.
Especially Mark Fish.
Mark always tells that story.
He will tell you all the story. He will tell you what you want to know. It's Moses Mokwena of Hamukagwaila. Thank you.
Boy, what were you doing for work? What are you qualified in?
I was an administrator, school-based at Gauteng Department of Education. I've worked previously at the West Bank, Nedbank. I've worked at the warehouse, studied public relations. Yeah.
How do people find you? If anybody's listening now and they're like, hey, this man, there's something in here. He's a brave man. He needs some luck his way. Where do they find you? How do they find you?
I'm available on my Facebook page, Khoso Teketsi. It's KHOTSO and then TEKETSI. And then they can also contact me. It's 071-989-9298. But above everything, I just like to thank Sizwe Mbebe, Trevor Parker, the guy who took the photo, and the late Ian McLeod. You know, if it wasn't because of them, we wouldn't be here today, and we've been talking about what we're talking about now. So yeah, I really appreciate what they've done for me as well.
I appreciate you, boy, and thank you so much for telling our story.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it.
Okay,
thank
cheers.
you so much.
Cheers.
To an amazing and great story that has been told for myself and my entire team. And Khoto, ole para, pela, Nansomi.